Hello friends, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sandeep Walia, Head of the Department, University Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Chandigarh University. Today, we are going to discuss the module Airport Security Management under the paper Aviation Industry, Ticketing and Frontier Formalities. After completing this module, the students will be able to understand the need and importance of airport security management. They will also learn about the various airport formalities and ensure taken to ensure security of passengers and cargo. They will also be familiarized with the airport security management measures from an Indian perspective. Students, the demand for aviation is growing manifold for both passenger and cargo services. The need for construction and development of airports therefore has become a priority infrastructure development for almost all the countries today. Catering to the growing demand is as important as providing efficient services and facilities at the airport terminals. Also, one of the most critical considerations in developing and maintaining airports is the security. Recent global events involving threats such as terrorist attacks, plane hijacks, and other alarming events have led to a widespread concern with regard to safety and security of passengers, cargo, staff, and aircrafts at the airports. In the present module, we shall discuss about the importance of airport security, steps and measures taken to safeguard passengers and cargo. Further, this module also shall discuss various security checkpoints and steps taken by the airport authorities to avert any undesirable risk and events. This module also intends to familiarize students with the airport security management measures from an Indian perspective. Let us discuss first airport security management. First, we have to understand the meaning and importance. Airport security refers to steps and measures taken to safeguard passengers, airport and airline crew, aircrafts and airport infrastructure and cargo at the airports from any potential harm, accidents and threats. In order to achieve this, a combination of both human and material resources is employed at various security checkpoints. These measures enable the authorities from protecting people and assets at the airport from unlawful interferences such as the acts of terrorism, sabotage, threat to life and property, communication of false threat and bombing, etc. Airport security management has increasingly become important in the present times given past unfortunate incidents associated with airports. Discussed here are some of the reasons for importance. Large number of people travel through airports and can be seen as potential targets for terrorist attacks and other threats. Large number of people also increase the threat for hijacking of planes and other undesirable incidents within the aircraft harming passengers and crew. Airports can be used for transporting dangerous and harmful materials such as lethal weapons, narcotic drugs and other smuggled items. Airports to any country one of the most critical infrastructures. Any harm to the airports may result in seriously crippling the country's transportation system. Airport security also is way to reassure people of a country and people traveling to a country that the country in question employs sufficient measures to ensure the safety of its people. The next comes the implementing agency. The agency responsible for protecting airports varies from country to other country. While some countries may have special agencies or forces assigned for the purpose of airport security, some other countries may authorize airport security to local police or security agencies. In many countries facing extreme threat, airport security is managed by the country's armed forces. In India, airport security is governed by the Airport Authority of India. The Airport Authority of India has further constituted a separate body called as the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, which is abbreviated as BCAS, to carry out the function of safeguard the passengers, crew, ground personnel, the general public and the airport infrastructure against unlawful acts as per the International Civil Aviation Organization standards. These standards and recommended practices of ICAO are laid down in Annexure 17 to the Chicago Convention. BCAS was set up in the year 1978 with the responsibility of laying down standards and measures in respect of security of civil flights at international and domestic airports in India. Let us now take on the roles and functions. The functions of Bureau of Civil Aviation Security website are as follows. Laying down aviation security standards in accordance with Annexure 17 to the Chicago Convention, the ICAO for airport operators, airlines operators and their security agencies responsible for implementing AVSCC measures. The second one is to monitor the implementation of security rules and regulations and carrying out survey of security needs. Next is to ensure that the persons implementing security controls are appropriately trained and possesses all competencies required to perform their duties. The planning and coordination of aviation security matters, conducting surprise or dummy checks to test professional efficiency and alertness of the security staff. They have to conduct the mock exercises to test efficacy of contingency plans and operations preparedness of the various agencies. They have to carry out the above listed functions. Bureau of Civil Aviation Security has appointed a paramilitary force known as the Central Industrial Security Force, which is abbreviated as CISF. CISF has formed an airport security group to protect all airports in India. Every airport in India has been given an airport security unit, which is a trained unit to counter unlawful interference with civil aviation. Apart from the CISF, every domestic airline in India has its own security teams which look after the airport security. Let us now discuss airport procedures and measures toward airport security. Although airport security had been a matter of prime importance for airport authorities around the world, but even since the recent events such as America's 9/11 and India plane hijacking, airport security has further become a function of critical importance for the civil aviation authorities of any country. Discussed here are some of the most widely used measures across all airports globally to safeguard passengers, crew, cargo and airport infrastructure from potential unlawful interferences. Barriers around airports. Airports are normally built with high fences, barriers and walls in order to act as a first line of defense from persons trying to gain access unlawfully. These barriers or fences are difficult to climb and close the entire airport property. Security personnel of the airport undertake patrols regularly to scan the perimeter in case of any breach or damage of the barrier. Especially in the case of sensitive areas such as the fuel depots or the terminals, and the baggage handling facilities are further secured with additional security measures like more fences and security checkpoints. All access gates attached to these fences are monitored by a security personnel station and surveillance cameras. Also, measures are taken not to allow any heavy vehicles in close proximity to the airport. There are several checkpoints installed along the road leading to the terminal building to detect any potential threat. All vehicles are also parked slightly away from the terminal building to ensure there is no direct threat to the terminal. The next one is the identity checks. In order to gain access into the airport, passengers must produce a valid ticket along with any of the prescribed photo identity documents. The airport crew is also expected to pass through this identity check each time they enter the terminal. In India, CISF security personnel personally check through the documents to verify the identity of the passenger. Also, in some larger airports today, random baggage check using X-ray machines are done right after the passenger enters the terminal and before he proceeds for the check-in. Also, passengers are educated and sufficiently warned through public address system or displays at airports telling passengers not to leave their bags unattended. Sometimes, airline check-in attendants also verify by asking questions such as, "Has your luggage been in your possession at all the times? Has anyone given you anything or asked you to carry on or check any items for them to ensure there has been foul play with the luggage of the passengers?" These are very important questions as innocent passengers' bag may be used to transport unwanted items like weapons, bombs or smuggled items which may pose to be the security threat. Metal detectors at the entrance and security check. Every person entering the terminal is mandatorily made to pass through the metal detectors placed in the entrance of the terminal and also during the security checks. These metal detectors are equipped to signal or beep when persons are carrying any metal objects with them or wearing on their body. At the security check area, passengers' baggage and belongings must pass through the X-ray machine including mobile phones, wallets, handbags, belts, boots and jackets. Passengers are also frisked using a handheld metal detector by security personnel and many a times physically examined. Once examined, passengers' boarding passes are stamped by the personnel. Next one is X-ray machines and its uses. While the passengers go through the metal detectors, their baggage and other belongings are passed through the X-ray machine placed nearby in the security check area. A conveyor belt carries each item past an X-ray machine and baggage are placed in a tray. Items such as laptops, mobile phones and other electronic items are asked to be placed separately in that tray. Since different materials in the baggage absorb X-rays at different levels, the X-ray image on the monitor shows the security personnel to see distinct items inside passenger bag. Items are typically shown in distinct colors on the display monitor based on the nature of material in that bag. To represent one of three main categories: organic, inorganic and metals. Any undesirable metal items are physically checked by the personnel if required. All baggage are later stamped indicating that they have passed through a thorough examination. The next stage is baggage scanner. For the baggage checked in and also for cargo, a large sized X-ray machine and sometimes CT scanners are also used to detect any undesirable items that may be of threat once on board the flight. The next step is immigration check. In case of international flights, a mandatory immigration check is done to ensure that the passengers are carrying valid passports, visa and other required documents. The immigration personnel also screen out any persons that have insufficient or fake documents. Any passenger found suspicious are also questioned separately by the immigration personnel. The next step is security checks at boarding gates. At boarding gates, the airline crew as well as the security personnel make sure that passengers are carrying the boarding passes and baggage has passed through the scanning by verifying and stamping. The airline crew scan the barcode on the barcoding pass to verify passengers' detail before passengers move towards boarding the aircraft. Security personnel on board. In some countries, authorities also depute security personnel to be present on board the aircraft through the journey to safeguard the passengers and crew against any unlawful events during the flight. Dear students, let us now take prohibited items. The following items are restricted for being carried in the airport terminal and on the aircraft by the passengers. In the category of personal items, items like lighters, scissors, metal with pointed tips, realistic replica of toy weapon, sharp objects, box cutters, ice axes, knives, and plastic meat cleavers, razor type blades such as box cutters, utility knives, razor blades not in a cartridge but excluding safety razors, sabers, scissors, metal with pointed tips, swords are prohibited. In the sports category, items like baseball bats, bows and arrows, cricket bats, golf clubs, hockey sticks, lacrosse sticks, pool cues, ski poles, spear guns, guns and firearms are prohibited. In the category of guns or firearms, ammunition, BB guns, compressed air guns, firearms, flare guns, gun lighters, gunpowder, part of guns and firearms, pellet guns, realistic replicas of firearms, shorter pistols are prohibited. In the category of tools, axes and hatchets, cattle prods, cow bars, hammers, drills including cordless portable power drills, saws including cordless portable power saws, screwdrivers except those in eyeglass repair kits, tools including wrenches and pliers are prohibited. The items of martial arts self-defense items such as billy clubs, blackjacks, brass knuckles, kubatans, mace pepper, spray, martial art weapons, nightsticks, martial arts self-defense items, stun gun, shocking devices, throwing stars are prohibited. In the category of explosive materials, items like blasting caps, dynamite, fireworks, flares, hand grenades, plastic explosives, realistic or replicas of explosive, flammable items are prohibited. Items like liquid, aerosol, gel, paste or items of similar consistency allowed separately in small quantities required for the duration of journey. In one clear, transparent, resealable 1 liter size plastic bag. Each item should, however, not exceed 100 ml in quantity. The few items are also exempted, which includes medicines, inhalers accompanied by a prescription or baby food. Disabling chemicals and other dangerous items includes chlorine for pools and spas, compressed gas cylinders including fire extinguishers, liquid bleach, spillable batteries except those in wheelchairs, spray paint, tear gases are prohibited. In the category of fuels including cooking fuels and any flammable liquid fuel, gasoline, gas torches, lighter fluid, strike anywhere matches, turpentine and paint thinner are prohibited. The above mentioned list is only indicative. Common sense however, shall prevail in assessing whether an object can be used as a weapon for committing any act of unlawful interference with civil aviation operations. Dear students, let us now discuss guidelines by Bureau of Civil Aviation Security, India. In order to further enhance security management at airports, BCAS has prescribed various guidelines to be adhered by all domestic and international airports. These guidelines cater to various sections of the airport and are intended to safeguard passengers, crew, cargo, and airport infrastructure. Dear students, let us now discuss security measures at airports or aerodromes. Planning, design, and layout of the aerodrome security requirement. The planning, design, and layout of the aerodrome should be according to the specifications provided in the National Civil Aviation Security Program, which includes security control applied to passenger, baggage, cargo, courier, express parcel, mail, catering store, and supply. Protection and control of access to airside, security, restricted area, and other sensitive aerodrome area and facility. The use of security equipment and architectural and infrastructure related requirements. Every aerodrome operator must establish security restricted area at aerodrome serving civil aviation, which must be in accordance with the security risk assessment carried out by the Commissioner. Aerodrome operator must make aerodrome design mentioned in the National Civil Aviation Security Program by integrating the design and construction of new facilities and alteration to existing design and facilities at aerodromes shall be carried out after obtaining in writing the approval of the Commissioner. Aerodrome perimeter. Every aerodrome operator must construct a perimeter wall of the height of 2.438 meter, approximately 8 feet, with overhung fence of 0.475 meter, that is 1.5 feet, around the aerodrome, provided that the Commissioner, keeping in view the threat or any other reason, may be ordered increase the specification of the perimeter wall. Provision of lighting, road and patrolling and observation post. The aerodrome operator should make the following security arrangements at the aerodrome, namely lighting for perimeter and any other sensitive area at the airport. There should be all-weather roads for patrolling by the security personnel and observation or command post for the security personnel at all major parts of the airport. Provided that the Commissioner may, taking into consideration the security perceptions, make such order in writing as may be deemed most appropriate for security arrangements. The next one is security clearance for operations at aerodrome. All aerodrome operators must commence operation at aerodrome only after obtaining the clearance of security arrangements and the approval of the aerodrome security program from the Commissioner. Where the Commissioner is not satisfied that the operator has failed to comply with the provisions, he may suspend or cancel the security clearance and security program granted or approved by him. Handling of unattended or suspect baggage. The aerodrome operators must construct and maintain a protected and isolated area for placing a suspect or unattended baggage in case of any suspicion and get the same investigated or disposed of at the soonest as possible. The business establishments at the aerodrome. All airport operators must allow the setting up of any business establishments in the security restricted area of aerodrome only after obtaining security clearance in this regard from the Commissioner. The owner of the business establishment must necessarily comply with Business Establishment Security Program in accordance with the National Civil Aviation Security Program. The protection of facilities owned by aerodrome operator. Every airport operator must demarcate and protect all vital installations owned by him, including technical and maintenance, power supplies, electrical substations, control towers, and other buildings used by air traffic services and communication facilities. Aviation Security Group. Every aerodrome operator must engage as many number of personnel of government security agency which may be determined by the commissioner suitable for performing security duties assigned to it under these rules. The personnel engaged shall be designated as Aviation Security Group should be designated as Chief Aerodrome Security Officer. The Aviation Security Group must work under the general supervision and direction of the aerodrome in charge. The aerodrome operator should provide facilities and support to the Aviation Security Group as may be approved by the Commissioner. Dear students, let us now discuss about the duties of the Chief Aerodrome Security Officer. The Chief Aerodrome Security Officer performs the following duties, namely safeguarding of passengers, crew, ground personnel and other aerodrome users, aircraft, aerodrome and related facilities including vital installations at the airport. Enforcement of access control measures into the restricted area of airport. The security of the perimeters of the airport. The screening of passengers, their baggage and the hand baggage. He has to perform surveillance activities within and around the airport. He has to enforce of security measures at various areas including car parks, viewing gallery, airport restaurant and areas close to movement areas. The enforcement of prescribed security measures. The maintenance of order and discipline in the airport premises. He has to ensure the supervision of the movement of passengers in the restricted or sterile areas. He has also to look after the maintenance of liaison with local police, the intelligence agencies for any assistance and any other duty assigned by the Commissioner related to airport security. Dear students, let us now discuss about ground handling services. All ground handling service provider must provide ground handling services at any aerodrome only after obtaining the security clearance and the approval of its security program from the Commissioner. The next one is the contingency plan. The aerodrome operator must make the contingency plans must be tested at regular intervals as may be specified by the Commissioner. Students, let us now summarize what we have discussed in this module. With increasing security concerns at airports worldwide, it is becoming critical to identify and implement measures to safeguard people and assets. In this direction, countries have assigned regulatory bodies to look into airport security management. In India, Airport Authority of India has constituted the Bureau of Civil Aviation Security to manage airport security. Through its various regulations and measures discussed in the above module, BACS has been successful in mitigating and safeguard Indian airports against any unlawful interference. With these words, I sum up the module. Thank you.